God, I can't stand this website. Let me see what's going on with Vermintide.
Oh my god, they're actually doing it.
Maybe
It's bad. No, it'll be bad. Maybe it'll be good. No, it's bad. It could be so good. Like Left 4 Dead. Oh my god.
Yes.
No. Please don't. Patrick, this is like Patrick, please that good. I want to be asleep.
It's actually happening. This is the best Christmas gift I've gotten my whole life. Fat Shark's holding a playtest for Versus mode, and I can't be more excited. I know there were some mixed opinions out there about whether or not Versus is actually healthy for the game, but you hear me out. The most successful horde shooter slasher game out there is Left 4 Dead 2, right? Or really, it's both Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. Well, see, that game still averages around 25,000 players concurrently, which is insane for a game that came out in 2009. It's the genre-defining game. A notable thing about its player base is that a big chunk of it usually plays Versus. And it's hard to say exactly what percentage that is, but just from looking at the servers, you can see that a lot of players are in PvP lobbies. And I think the interesting part is that no one has really mastered the PvP horde experience like Left 4 Dead did. There have been a couple tries, I'm looking at you, Back 4 Blood, but no one has really hit the nail on the head yet. So is Fat Shark the game dev that will bring PvP back to the horde genre? Maybe. We'll see. Though it may be too early to speculate whether or not Vermintide Versus is actually going to be good. I mean, all we really know is that it exists. So much time has passed since they teased it back in 2019, we don't know if any of that is relevant at all. But what we can talk about is why I think Vermintide might actually be perfect for a Versus mode. One of the first things I appreciated about the game is that you can actually dodge most of these specials attacks. In Left 4 Dead, when you're being stalked by a hunter, you kind of just had to run around, try to find a corner, and shoot it before it pounced you. Similar thing with the smoker and really all of the specials in Left 4 Dead. Now in our beloved rat game, you can apply your knowledge, reflexes, and skill to dodge the specials. If you've been playing the game for a decent amount of time, you probably have all these specials, animations, and dodge timings memorized in your muscles. Now imagine there's another player behind that Packmaster. Would a player run at you and do the hook animation the same way an AI would? Maybe they delay their hook a few moments to bait you. Maybe they act like they're going for you, but instead go for the elf who's fighting another rat. See, we have a skill matchup here, mix-ups and all. I think the simple fact that we can dodge specials attacks means there's potential for some interesting PvP. But then there's a big elephant-sized question in the room. Which difficulty will they choose for Versus? I think in Left 4 Dead it was just normal, as in the second of 4 difficulties. In Vermintide 2 terms, that would probably be Champion. And honestly, I really hope they don't go with Champion. I think Champion will be too easy. At that difficulty, every special is very easily one-shot, and elites are not a problem at all. I mean, this kind of depends on whether or not we're able to use our gear in Versus, or if they're going to standardize the weapons we use in Versus. Or maybe they take a similar approach to the way they did in Chaos Wastes. I think letting players take all their red gear in could be problematic, and making it too easy depending on the difficulty they go with. On the flip side, making Versus Cataclysm could make it too challenging for most players. I know a lot of us veteran players would love Cataclysm Versus, but we gotta think about the player base as a whole. Which brings me to my next point. The game has been out so long that a lot of the player base is very good at the game. The things I see some people do in Cataclysm Twitch mode is absolutely insane. And most Legend lobbies and Cataclysm lobbies are just a breeze. So how are they going to balance Versus around this? Are they going to leave the newer players or the less experienced players behind and just cater it to their main audience, which is really good at the game? Are they going to have some kind of matchmaking? Or are they going to cater to the bottom line and make it kind of easy and leave more room for skill expression from the players playing the rats? I don't know. These are questions that have yet to be answered. I'd hate to see the game be heavily favored to the side of the Ubersreich 5, though. Even in Left 4 Dead, the game felt slightly tilted in favor of the survivors. And Valve used a point system to rectify this, so even if both teams make it through to the end of the map, whoever scored the most points along the way wins. Maybe Fat Shark will take a similar approach, maybe not. I'm very curious to see what they will do. And please, 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 Fat Shark, use your delicately well-crafted maps for Versus. Don't put us in an arena like Back 4 Blood did. The Back 4 Blood Versus is nowhere near as fun as Left 4 Dead's Versus. I don't know, there seems to be some kind of technical limitation that keeps horde games from doing what Left 4 Dead did with Versus. And I'm hoping that Fat Shark has overcome that. I think if Versus is balanced right and they make a few good decisions on how Versus mode is framed, then they'll have a banger. And you bet I'm going to be giving feedback along the way. This might be the most excited I've been for Vermintide content since the Chaos Waves come out. And I honestly can't believe we're actually getting a Versus mode. I guess I should say they've really only announced that they're playtesting for it. They haven't confirmed that it is going to come out. But nonetheless, I'm very excited. A lot of you might think that a Versus mode is not necessary, or that it's not healthy for the game. I want to know how you guys feel about this. I love me some competitive PvP, so I'm all about it, but I want to know what you guys think. So yeah, I just want to make a short video. No one has talked about this much, and this is a big thing for the Vermintide community, I think. So if you liked the video, please like it, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.